And for our intermission, we have a special treat.
My favorite fighter.
This is your favorite fighter?
This is definitely one of my favorite fighters.
You need to watch more fights. We have UFC flyweight contender Tim Elliot joining us. Please send in your questions to the live chat. He loves to answer questions. Let's get him some questions to answer. Tim, how are you?
Fantastic, never better.
I can't hear you, but I understand what you're saying.
How do you feel after your last fight? That was a pretty big win for you here in your hometown, Kansas City.
Oh man, it was great. Got bonus money, so that's always a plus. I'm with the new camp. I'm working with some new guys, and I really focused on one set area, and I feel like my striking lacked a little bit. I didn't get to work with James as much as I normally had, so I went to where I was comfortable, and that was getting into the ground.
Awesome. How does it feel getting called into the office by Dana White after your fight? That would have been pretty cool moment.
Honestly, I was scared. I thought that was going to be a negative, so I went in with the worst in mind, and he said it was an awesome fight, and he only gets to see a few fights like that in a lifetime, and my father and my coaches kind of all agreed with me that it wasn't the best performance, so I like the fact that he enjoyed the fight, and I know that I can do better.
Absolutely. So I heard Dana White say that it was one of the best displays of grappling in a fight that he's ever seen. Obviously, the flyweights are super exciting. When you were in the fight, did you feel like the grappling exchanges were as good as they actually were, or was it a normal fight and it just so happened that there was a phenomenal display of grappling?
Oh man, honestly, I felt like we were flopping around quite a bit. He was squirmy, man. He was super flexible. I got in a mount twice, and both times he put his feet around my head, and then he was on top of me. So, I never felt like I was in a dominant position with him.
Absolutely. So, with the state of the flyweight division, there's starting to grow, I would say. You've been in the UFC for quite a while. You fought a lot of, if not every single one of the big name guys. For you, what's next for you in the flyweight division? Is it DJ Tim Elliot 2? Is it Joe B2? What's next?
Either one of those guys are good for me. If I can fight one of those guys, it means that I'm doing what I should be doing. Those are the best two guys. Obviously, I want to fight the best guys, but most importantly, I don't want to fight boring guys. There's so many guys in the division that there's no chance to win bonus money, and that's where I've made my money. I haven't made any money really fighting for the UFC. I've made myself money with bonus money, so there's a lot of exciting fights. I've always wanted to fight Ian McCall for some reason, and
that's an exciting fight. I feel like, do you feel like stylistically very similar?
Very similar, and I don't want to fight him because I think he's an easy fight. I think he's a fun fight. I think he arguably beat Demetrious Johnson early in the tournament when they first started the flyweight division. So he's just always been a guy on my radar, and I felt like he's always kind of skated by. I took a tough road in the UFC, and I feel like he was one of the guys that I missed out on. So I talked to him. He hit me up on Twitter and said, hey man, his head's not right, his body's not right. So he pretty much told me he can't fight right now, but he said that if he gets back in feeling good, that I'll be the first guy to get him on. So
I've just received word from the live chat that Tim's mic is not on. So you guys have missed a hell of an interview. One of the best interviews that we've ever done. Tim has been absolutely killing it with the answers. Is there a way that we can fix Tim's mic? Let's go to the live chat line. There are big Tim fans on here. They're blowing you up. First question from Fumducker.
All
Great
right.
name.
I love it.
At Tim, what did you learn from your time on The Ultimate Fighter?
I learned that I cannot stay in a house with 16 guys for 7 weeks and be happy. No, it was a learning experience, but I was not happy pretty much the whole time. I was hungry. I missed my family. I was the crybaby on the show. They just made me look good. It was something I wanted to do, and I knew it was going to be a sacrifice, and I got exactly what I asked for.
how great was that feeling? Like, I know you have a 2-year-old daughter, Sterling. How great was that seeing her again after 6 weeks?
Oh man, it was it was really good for me. Her, on the other hand, she kind of didn't want anything to do with me when I got home, so it was hard, but it didn't last long. She's my buddy. I'm with her all day, and she's my best friend, and we pretty much do she's running around here right now, actually, somewhere. So, it was awesome. She's really the reason why I did it. Not for money purposes, but I want her to know that if you want something, you got to go out there and do it, even if it means, sacrifice away from your family. So I feel pretty good about it.
Here's kind of a curveball question from the live chat. Tim, why don't you fight at 125?
I mean, it's too big a weight cut, so I like to just, keep fighting at flyweight,
Sure. Great move by you.
I seen you had a very tough cut for the Demetrious fight, but you looked phenomenal this last fight. How did you adjust?
I did what any good fighter would do. If you struggle in an area, you got to bring on somebody. You got to put some of that responsibility into somebody else's hands. I'm a fighter. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a weight cutting guru, but I can take orders. So I brought in a nutritionist, Tyler Minton. He's James Krause, Zach Cummings. He does Chris Weidman, a whole bunch of guys. So again, I put all the faith into him, and it just took everything off the plate. All I had to worry about was fighting, and my diet went perfect, my weight cut went perfect, and I got a $50,000 bonus check, so the fight went pretty good as well.
Question from the live chat. Do you think you can beat Mighty Mouse if given the opportunity again?
I don't know if I will, but I know that I can. I felt his power. I felt his submissions. That was the worst I've ever felt in a fight, hands down. I've never felt a weight cut like that. I've never cramped like that. There was one point in the fight where I put my hands on my knees, and that wasn't because I was clowning. I was in severe pain, and it wasn't inflicted by him. So I feel like that's a fight that I can win. Will I win? I don't know. He's a smart fighter, and I'm not. I'm a little bit more reckless. So I feel like if anybody can beat him, I'm the guy.
Let's take a couple more from our chat line here. Tim, what do you think about a fight with Uncle Creepy?
I would love it. I actually called him out on Twitter, but he messaged me and said that his head's not really in it right now, and that his body's not really, up to par to fight. So I gave him my best wishes, and hopefully he gets his head right and his body right, and he gets back in there. I think the division needs guys like him. The division needs guys like me, and there's not very many of us.
I think stylistically you guys are very similar. I would be excited. I think you're pretty much going up against yourself. Very, very unorthodox fighter. He's also someone who has given Demetrious Johnson problems, like yourself. So I definitely would be excited for that fight if that happens. So who would you fight next if it's not him?
For me, he would be the money fight in the flyweight division. But I don't know. There's a lot of guys I want to fight, but really, I just want to keep climbing the ladder and get that rematch with Demetrious. I feel like I'm one fight away. I'm not going to take any short notice fights. I'm not going to do any favors anymore for the company. I did that my first time around, and now I'm going to fight fights that I want to fight, fun fights where I want to fight, and exciting fights because I want to get paid.
Last question of wrapping up our interview with UFC flyweight Tim Elliot. I would be remiss if I did not ask, how was your time in Southeast Asia?
Oh, man, it was a blast. I got a little crazy in Bangkok my last 2 days, and everybody's like, oh, he just terrorized through Asia. But really, that was just 2 days in Bangkok. Everything else was, motorbike riding through the mountainside and, chilling on the beach, and did a lot of swimming in the ocean. And, I relaxed for an entire month. I didn't do anything. And I feel like it's exactly what I needed for my mind and for my body. Again, it was hard to be away from my daughter, but she had her grandparents in town, and she needed some time with them anyway. So, again, I had a blast. Everything went really, really well. It was cheap. And
I see you got into some articles about some of your tweets.
Yeah.
How do you adjust to that? People picking up random tweets and making random articles about it. How do you adjust to that now?
Man, I love it. Nobody's talking about the guys who are unimportant. So if they're wasting their time going through the one funny tweet I've had in 3 years, That's pretty awesome. I mean, they're obviously good at their job. Obviously I was joking, but whether I was or I wasn't, it's nobody else's business but mine. So I think it's hilarious. I'm glad. Other than my grandma follows me on Facebook, she probably didn't think it was as funny as I did. But, it got a lot of laughs and mostly positive reviews on that.
I love it. Thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate the time. Watch this man fight whenever his next fight is. He is one of the most exciting fighters on planet Earth.
Tim
and
Elliot.
Probably any other planet where fighting occurs at.
Tim Elliot, making flyweights great again.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim.